Welcome back. You're watching First at 9. Now, 75 ocean strainers will be set up across Sri Lanka's canals by the year 2025 to prevent tons of plastic and polythene waste from making their way into the oceans. Now, this was confirmed by the Marine Environment Protection Authority. Ocean strainers and barriers set up to cross waterways to trap waste. Once in the oceans, polythene and plastics are broken down to microplastics, which is invisible and enter the human body via very fish we consume.
Ocean pollution has been a topic of concern for some time across the globe. But with Sri Lanka being surrounded by ocean, the island has added incentive to keep the very waters which provide the country's population with much-needed resources clean. It is a common fact that tons of plastic and polythene waste enter the sea via canals, causing massive destruction to the marine environment and its ecosystems. For example, the total polythene and plastic generation by way of waste within the jurisdiction of the Dehiwala Mount Lavinia Municipal Council is estimated to be around 29 tons per day. From that, a large chunk, around 23.4 tons, end up polluting the environment since they are discarded sans a proper method of disposal. What's more, from the total waste which enters Sri Lanka's seas, only 30% gets washed back on shore. That means the rest of the 70% of waste, including plastics, remain at sea. Preventing plastic waste from reaching the ocean is a crucial step in protecting the marine environment. With the objective of preventing the travesty of plastic and polythene entering the sea, Sri Lanka's latest floating trash trap ocean strainer was deployed earlier this month in the Dehiwala Canal. This trash trap possesses the ability to catch plastic and polythene waste before it reaches the ocean. Furthermore, it collects a minimum of 35 kilograms of plastic waste each day.
Sri Lanka, compared to the land area, we actually have 8 times marine area compared to the land area. It goes up to 200 nautical miles from our coastline, and we have many resources untapped there in our oceans. But Sri Lanka is identified and ranked as the 5th worst marine pollution nation, which actually gives very bad fame to the country. One of the initiatives that MIPA has taken is that to put up floating strainers across the canals. At the moment, we have put up 9 in various parts of the island, and the very recent one we put up in the Dehiwala Canal, which goes to ocean.
If the trash trap ocean strainer set up in the Dehiwala Canal catches 35 kilograms of plastic waste per day, given the number of estuaries in the island, imagine the volume of plastic waste entering the oceans from Sri Lanka on a daily basis.
We know that from middle of the country there are 103 rivers flowing down to the ocean. Along with these rivers, there are tons and tons of garbage coming to ocean. And we'll have to spend huge money for waste management, plus some of the waste, when it gets into marine environment, we won't be able to collect it back. MIPA has planned from 2021 to 2025 to put up 75 such floating strainers across the island, covering some of the canals, which brings a lot of waste to the marine environment.
The former Deputy Director on Biodiversity and Cultural Heritage of the Customs Department, Samantha Gunasekara, is of the view that the concept of ocean strainer should be adopted across the country's waterways, and for good reason.
Actually, the straining across the water bodies and the streams which trap polythene and plastics is a very common method in other countries. In developed countries, they use this. But Sri Lanka, this is a novel thing. Actually, there are 14 million metric tons people in the world do add into the oceans. With the ocean currents and wave pattern, majority of these polythene break into small particles. It's called microplastics. These microplastics are very, very harmful because indirectly through the food chains, all these microplastics deposited in the marine organism, shellfish and finfish, finally through the fish people consume and get unnecessary problems as cancer. We don't see the microplastics. We can have these strands in other rivers and the streams as well. Then we can trap more polythene and plastic before it wash into the oceans.